Okay, class, we're about to start Unit 6, percent. We have Section A, converting between percent and decimal notation. And we have the percent to decimal. 25% means 25 out of 100, or 25 over 100, which divides out 25 divided by 100 to 0.25. Shortcut. The results of dividing by 100 is that the decimal moved 2 places to the left. Examples, write each percent to a decimal. Now, we have 45% and we also have 8%. The first thing we have to do is this here. We need to drop the percent sign. So we have 45 and we'll put our decimal behind the 5 because whenever you have a whole number that doesn't show a decimal, you put it at the end. Now, to change this to a percent, you move this decimal 2 places to the left. So your final answer would be 0.45. Now 8%, we do the same thing. We get rid of the percent sign, put the decimal behind the 8, move it 2 places to the left, and it'll be 0.08. Now, going from a decimal to a percent, it says reverse the previous process, so multiply by 100%. Shortcut, the result of multiplying by 100% is the decimal moves 2 places to the right. Examples, write each decimal as a percent. Now 0.683, if we multiply that by 100%, we know multiplying by 100 will move the decimal 2 places to the right. So that'll give us 68. That will give us 68.3. And then since it had a percent sign at the end, we'll put the percent sign at the end. Now, if you don't want to multiply by 100%, what you could do, and we could take it with the next problem, is move the decimal point 2 places to the right, and then that will give us here 0.7, and we have to add a percent sign at the end. Okay, next, it says solving percent problems. Translate each problem to the percent equation. A is the amount, the word is equal, P stands for the percent, of means multiplication, and B is the base, which is the total. So we have the word what is 15% of 40. Now what is an unknown, is we know is equal, 15% we'll rewrite as a decimal, which is 0.15, of means multiplication, and 40 is just 40. So when we multiply this out, 15% of 40 will end up being 6. Now, we go on to the next problem. 32% of what number is 8? So we will change this to a decimal, 0.32. Of means multiplication. Now instead of just what, it'll be what number. What and what number is basically the same. That'll be x. Is mean equal. And 8 means 8. So it'll be 0.32x is equal to 8. We divide each side by 0.32. And we will put this in our calculator. We have 8 divided by 0.32, which is 25. So x equals 25. Now we go on to the next problem. It says what is x, is equal, 180% written as a decimal is 1.8, of is multiplication, and 36 is 36. So we got x is equal to, we could take 1.8 times 36, and that will give us 64.8. Now, we come here. We have 9 is mean equal. Now this, we have what percent, which is x. Of means multiplication, and 12 is 12. So it'd be 9 is equal to 12x Divide each side by 12. Now, if you put this in your calculator, 9 divided by 12 will give you 0.75, and that'll be x. Now, they ask us what percent, so we have to change this decimal to a percent, and it'll be 75% is equal to x. So we got to be very careful with the language we have here. Okay, section C, applications of percent. It says, during the flu epidemic, 68% of a company's employees took sick leave. If the company employed 700 people, how many took sick leave? So basically, we know that they have 700 employees. And then of these employees, 68% took sick leave. So it'd be 700 times 0.68. And it equals to some number we don't know. So we could take 700 times 0.68. And that gives us 476. So 476 people out of 700 took sick leave. Now it says during the flu epidemic, 68% of a company's employees took sick leave. If 170 people took sick leave, how many people are employed by the company? So we need to know the company's population, which we don't know, and to be multiplied by how many people took sick leave, which is 68%, and is equal to the total amount of people that actually took sick leave. So now we will divide each side by 0.68. We'll put that in the calculator. 170 divided by 0.68, and that gives us 250. So x is equal to 250. So out of 250 employees, 170 took sick leave. A company employs 200 women and 250 men. What percentage of the employees are women? So listen, when they say percentage of employees, that means it's all of the employees. So it's 450 total employees, and of that amount, 200 of them are women. So we could write that as a fraction. So we could divide the numerator and denominator by 10. So that'll give us 20 over 45. And 20 and 45 has 5 in common. So that will give us 4 over 9. So now we will put that in our calculator. So we have 4 divided by 9. And they ask us here to round your answer to the nearest tenth of a percent. Now remember, when you have, just going here, if I ask you to change 0.68 to a percent, we know that would be 68%. So that lets us know that 2 digits behind the decimal gives us an exact percent. But they want us to do a tenth of a percent, so that means we must go 3 digits behind the decimal. So we will round this to 3 digits behind the decimal, and then rounding that would give us approximately 0.444. And then now we will round that to, well, we've already rounded. We'll change this to a percent. So it'd be 44.4%. And that is the final answer. Now we move on to the next page. It says solve using the simple interest formula A equals P plus PRT. Now the P is the principal, the R is the rate, and T is the time. And typically time is in years. So Allison puts $55,000 in a simple interest savings account for 3 years at 4% interest. Find Allison's new balance. So the A would be basically your total or your new balance. P is the principal, which is your initial amount, which would be the $55,000. The rate is the percentage rate, so we'll change that to a decimal. And the time would be 3 years. So now we could take our calculator and we'll put these values in. We have 55,000 plus 55,000 times 0.04 times 3 and equals. So our new balance would be $61,600 after 3 years. Okay, Kim earned a salary of $34,500 last year. This year she will receive a raise of 1.05%. Find Kim's new salary. Okay, so now, last year's salary, we could basically use that same formula. We could use A equals P plus P RT. Okay, now, we're trying to find the new balance. So, we could look at her old salary as her principal. Now her rate is the interest rate, which is, we'll put that in decimal form, be 0.0105. And then the time, they said it was 1 year. Okay, so now we put this in our calculator. We have 34,500 plus 34,500 times 0.0105 times 1. And our new salary would be $34,862.25. So now basically we use the same formula, but for a different type of problem, but it's basically the same rules. Your principal, here is your salary, which is your initial amount. The rate is the interest rate of your raise, and then the time is over 1 year. So this is how we got this number here. And we are done.